What is this? This right here is an ordinary ShopRite bag filled with garbage. But more importantly, this is the ShopRite bag that I use for my little mini garbage can here in my room. And it is filled with garbage, trash, and debris, which I have no use for. But more importantly, this right here is a visual representation for Monday Night Raw. We had Angle and Constable Corbin kicking off the show, and Roman Reigns came out. He tried to be cool, as always, trying to say how, he is the main event of SummerSlam again. Corbin's being a corporate stooge, as always. And then Corbin actually buried Roman, and he said that he beat Finn Balor, the guy that actually won the Universal title. This led to a match between Reigns and Corbin. Balor came out, distracted Corbin, and Reigns got the win. And then Balor hit the coup de grace on Corbin afterwards, and now we have Balor versus Corbin in a rematch from SummerSlam. This pretty much set the pace for the rest of the show. And there was absolutely zero highlights of the show except for two simple highlights that weren't even matches on the show. From that we go to Bobby Roode defeating Mojo Rawley. Elias did his documentary live in the ring, and Lashley interrupts. Elias said that Lashley's a joke. A brawl broke out. So, most likely, again, this is going to lead to a match at SummerSlam. From there, Rezar defeated Titus O'Neil. Kevin Owens hosted an interview with Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal defeated Braun Strowman by disqualification when Braun Strowman used the briefcase on Jinder 2 weeks in a row. Jinder Mahal beat Braun Strowman. We had another Reigns versus Lesnar promo. McIntyre and Ziggler defeated Rollins in a handicap match. The Deleters of Worlds interrupted the Revival versus the B-Team. You pretty much know where I'm going from here. Oh, you know what? I feel like I'm forgetting something. I feel like I'm forgetting to do something. It'll come to me. I'm forgetting something. Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms. And I would like to welcome all of you back here to the channel right here on YouTube.com. As, of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. This is, of course, the Lightning Flash update for August 10th, 2018. Yeah, I knew I was forgetting something. I forgot to do my normal intro. Regardless, we're going to continue on with this Monday Night Raw review. One of the only highlights on the show was Paul Heyman's phenomenal interview. Though it is being used as a way just to get Roman cheered, I need to say, and once again, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, Paul Heyman is the epitome of entertainment. It does not matter what this guy does. If you give this guy a microphone, it is automatically a must-see segment. Paul Heyman's actually crying. Paul Heyman is actually so dedicated that he's doing all this. He's like, go ahead, just continue. Just do your job. And Paul Heyman in that final sentence, like the way that he just looks at Renee Young and just says, Roman Reigns doesn't stand a chance. Doesn't matter what Paul Heyman does. I hate the Reigns-Lesnar feud. I hate this whole storyline. I hate Roman Reigns' character. I hate the fact that Lesnar is Universal Champion. But Paul Heyman is great in everything that he does. Ruby Riott returned, and the Riott Squad defeated Sasha Banks and Bayley. I'm pretty much breezing through this entire Raw review. Ronda Rousey then defeated Alicia Fox. This right here, what happened with Alicia Fox and Ronda Rousey should happen with Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam. A 3-minute squash. Ronda Rousey, realistically, if we're speaking in terms of how both women have been presented on the show, Ronda Rousey could snap Alexa Bliss like a twig. Could snap her like a twig. Chew her up and spit her out. The best part about this was what Ronda Rousey did afterwards. And she took the mic that said, doesn't matter how much you clutch that title, come SummerSlam, it's mine. She threw the microphone down so much that it bounced up. And you saw it on the corner of your screen. You saw the mic just bounce up as if it was on a trampoline. I don't know why, I just found that funny. Raw was absolutely horrendous, and I just wanted to skim through it so that way I wouldn't really spend too much time on it. Other than Raw, the rest of the week for wrestling was pretty damn good. Smackdown was a pretty damn good show, if I do say so myself. Randy Orton kicked off the show. Randy Orton promised to be so violent that people would change the channel. He would go off and say that, he's done everything in the business. He's Grand Slam champion, Money in the Bank winner, Royal Rumble winner, main evented WrestleMania, but you still don't respect me. And, Randy Orton as a heel, he continues to be great. Also, I actually have some news on heel Randy Orton, which I will get to when we get to the news, rumors, and reports section of the Lightning Flash update. We had Charlotte and Becky defeating the Iconics. It was a decent match for what it was, but what is the most important thing is what happened after the match, because the tension started to build. In the back, after they defeated the Iconics, Charlotte was going on and on about how she loves teaming with Becky. Becky, she didn't seem very happy. And when they did the little tea time gesture that they always do on their Twitters and all that, because they're such great friends, when they did that, you see Becky with a serious look on her face, just looking into Charlotte, and Charlotte kind of has a shocked look on her face, almost like, all right, it's time to get serious now. Becky Lynch is focused as ever. The tension is starting to build for a feud after SummerSlam. I can't wait to see where this goes. The Miz confirmed that at SummerSlam, he will take on Daniel Bryan. We actually had a segment with Daniel Bryan and The Miz later on in the show, which I will talk about. Styles addressed the crowd. And AJ talked about how Joe made it personal when he targeted his family. He always says how we always want to be there for our kids, but sometimes we can't because we sacrifice so many things to give our families better lives. He said that Joe knows his family personally, and he threw decades of friendship right out the window based on what he said last week. And Styles says that at SummerSlam, Joe will be lucky to walk out at all. I cannot wait to see this match. This right here should be the main event of SummerSlam, without a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. What they are doing with Styles and Joe is much more believable, much more intriguing, and much more intense. With Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, there's no intensity there. Because Roman Reigns, when he takes the mic and he cuts a promo, there's no intensity. This was probably the best promo that AJ Styles cut in a while. With Roman and Lesnar, the storyline is a storyline that the majority of the audience do not want to see, and they don't want to see unfold. They don't want to see it, period. It's a storyline that was pretty much put on hold so Roman could have 3 undercard feuds that all went nowhere with Joe, Mahal, and Lashley, and now he's back into this title picture when he's realistically done nothing. Meanwhile, you take a look at what Samoa Joe's been doing. Samoa Joe has been kicking ass here and there. Samoa Joe has been, raising hell on Smackdown Live. And Samoa Joe, now he's fighting AJ Styles, and what they're doing in this build, much more intriguing. Selena Vega defeated Lana. This was actually better than their match last week. I'm going to give props to both women here. Selena Vega, she won. She won again with the double knees, the Almas Annihilation. I'm just going to call it the Almas Annihilation because it just sounds cool. But Selena Vega won again. And there was a brawl outside near the end of this match between Rusev and Almas. Almas sent Rusev right into the steel post head first, or the LED post head first. Out of nowhere, Aiden English comes darting into the camera, darting on camera as if he's running a marathon, and he spears Almas through the air. Like he almost like scooped them up. It was like a scoop spear. He scoop spears Almas right into the back of the turnbuckles, which causes Lana to fall. Selena Vega hits the Almas Annihilation, and Selena Vega wins. So the tension between Aiden English and Rusev is continuing to build. And depending on what they do for SummerSlam, or if they are on SummerSlam's card at all, I am very much interested in where this goes. And, you know, maybe Rusev does get a big heel push, if Rusev is to turn heel, because they are pushing Aiden English as a babyface here. We had a segment backstage with R-Truth and Nakamura. And Nakamura was basically going on and on about how he's going to beat Jeff Hardy. R-Truth, he says he wants a shot at the United States Championship, and he says he's going to pin Carmella to do it. Ty Dillinger's like, wait a minute, what the hell are you talking about? And then Nakamura says something in Japanese, and they cut to R-Truth and Ty Dillinger, and they zoom in on him. Ty Dillinger's like, no speak Japanese. And R-Truth's like, why, I never. Forget about the match with Carmella. I want Shinsuke. R-Truth, you know, I said I wanted to see more of R-Truth. I said they should really start pushing R-Truth more, and now he's fighting Shinsuke Nakamura. First he was fighting Joe, now he's fighting Shinsuke Nakamura. So, you know, maybe they're listening to me. But that took place later on. Before that, we actually had a Miz interview. And I don't really think I've been this much of a fan of The Miz up until now, because The Miz is cutting some of the best promos of his life right now. And I cannot wait to see the match between Miz and Bryan. He's going on about how he carried Bryan. He's going on about how Bryan is going to be in The Miz's shadow like he's always been. He says he's sick of Daniel Bryan's comeback. And out of nowhere, Bryan comes right off of camera, attacks The Miz, throws the security guards into the wall. Miz was able to smash a plant, like a plant pot, right over Daniel Bryan's head, and him and the security guards got the hell out of there. So the build for this match is looking pretty damn good. We had Shinsuke Nakamura defeating R-Truth. Now, I really wish this could have gone on longer. The only complaint that I have about Smackdown Live is that I wish Shinsuke and R-Truth could have gone on longer. R-Truth is 46 and he's still moving around like he's 25. You gotta give R-Truth a hell of a lot of credit for everything that R-Truth is doing right now. R-Truth is doing some damn good in-ring work. And he's entertaining. He's very entertaining. So I do hope they start pushing R-Truth, or maybe they could push R-Truth and Ty Dillinger as a tag team. After that, the Bludgeon Brothers defeated some jobbers. That was that. In the main event, this was probably the best main roster tag team match this year so far. Because this year, we haven't really been seeing that great of tag team matches on the main roster. Especially since we got that terrible 4-minute match for the Raw Tag Team titles at WrestleMania with Braun Strowman, The Bar, and Nicholas. And then we got a 5-minute squash match for the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles. But this match was phenomenal in every sense of the word. New Day and The Bar. They poured their blood, sweat, tears, their heart, and their souls into this match. The only complaint I have about this match is the wrong team won. I would have much rather have taken The Bar. As a matter of fact, Sanity should have won the whole thing, because I've been calling Sanity and the Bludgeon Brothers for a while. Sanity should have been the one to take the titles off the Bludgeon Brothers, but we have the New Day, and the tag team match is set for SummerSlam. The match was phenomenal in every sense of the word. The New Day, when they get in the ring and then they're serious, They can put on some damn good matches. Same with the Bar. So the Bar can be comical at some points with the "We are the Bar" catchphrase, but this match was a damn good match. It was a phenomenal match. Tag match set for SummerSlam. We have the New Day and the Bludgeon Brothers. That could be a damn good match if given the proper amount of time, and it could be the match of the night at SummerSlam. 205 Live. It was a good show. Good show. We actually had some interesting storytelling in the show. We actually had a match between Tony Nese and Murphy, defeating the Lucha House Party, represented by Kalisto and Lince Dorado. It was a good match for what it was. Fast-paced, intense, and Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy got the win with a roll-up of the tights. So this feud is not over. This feud is not a one-and-done deal. We're going to get something similar like what we got with Hideo Tozawa and the Lucha House Party a couple months back. We're going to get something similar to that. Maybe a tornado tag match, maybe a no disqualification match. Regardless, maybe Falls Count Anywhere match. But I know that Triple H is going to do something creative with these two teams. The match was good for what it was. I enjoyed it, and I'm interested to see where it goes. Noam Dar then defeated Sean Maluda, and that was pretty much that. Noam Dar is getting back on the winning streak. Next week, we actually have two matches set for next week. And next week's 205 Live before SummerSlam is looking pretty good. We got Alexander versus Jack Gallagher. And then we got a rematch between Lio Rush and Akira Tozawa. So don't sleep on those two matches. We also had a couple promos with Drew Gulak and Cedric Alexander, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I like the tension that is building between these two individuals. And I like how Drew Gulak has been recruiting Kendrick and Gallagher, and they're just kind of standing there, just offering a sense of dominance for Drew Gulak. Like, they're a dominant faction, with Drew Gulak leading the charge as Cruiserweight Champion. And if this is going to be the case, then I can see Gulak definitely taking the win. And I'm going to explain that because the match between Hideo Itami and Mustafa Ali, it was a damn good match for what it was. And surprise, surprise, it included Mustafa. Mustafa Ali continuing to put on stellar performances in the main event of 205 Live week by week by week. It started off slow, but it picked up. We actually had Hideo doing a shotgun dropkick to Mustafa, and Mustafa landed back first right into the LED post. We had Ali doing that huge springboard tornado DDT to the outside. There was a point at the beginning of the match, actually, where Ali did that tope con hero, and I think the heel of his left foot landed right on the top of Hideo's head. In the end, Hideo won with a trio of shotgun drop kicks in the corner. And Hideo won. Mustafa then collapsed afterwards, and the referees were trying to check on him. This had some great storytelling. It had some pretty great storytelling, and I think that if these two are going to be put into a feud in the future, which I think they are, I think that it is going to be a pretty damn good feud. And I think that if done right, this should keep Mustafa busy for a while before he eventually goes to take the title off of Drew Gulak, if they decide to go that route. But overall, 205 Live was a good show. NXT was a good storyline progression show, if I do say so. Nikki Cross defeated Amber Nova. The Undisputed Era then ambushed Ricochet, and Cole said he's going to win in Brooklyn. Can't wait to see how that match plays out. Cassius Ohno then defeated Adrian Jaoud. I think Adrian Jaoud is part of a Brazilian stable on the NXT live event tapings with Cesar Bononi and Tainara Conti, if I'm not mistaken. EC3 then ventured into the Dreams world, and it was basically this, it looked like a 5-star backyard of a mansion. EC3 coming in, saying he's the top 1% and all that, saying that, he's going to beat the Dream, at Brooklyn, and the Dream actually felt disrespected. EC3 then delivered the top 1% and threw Dream right into the pool. So I'm interested to see how this plays out. We actually have the Velveteen Dream live next week. We're gonna see what he has to say. Keith Lee, bask in his glory, defeated Marcel Bartel. It was a decent match for what it was, and Keith Lee won with that fireman's carry into a side slam, almost. So, interested to see what Keith Lee does. Next week, we got the Street Profits versus the Mighty. Tainara Conti defeated Vanessa Bourne in a Mae Young Classic qualifying match. We're going to see what Tainara Conti does in the Mae Young Classic. Next week, we got Tyler Bate versus Roderick Strong. That should be a damn good match. And in the main segment, Tommaso Ciampa interrupted Johnny Gargano versus Aleister Black. William Regal then came out and made it a triple threat match. But afterwards, Aleister Black was found unconscious, and Tommaso Ciampa actually tweeted that he had nothing to do with it. So, we are going to see how that unfolds, and if Aleister Black does come back and challenge Ciampa or Gargano for the NXT Championship. But regardless, the triple threat match was scrapped. Black is out. As reported by Fightful.com, Black has been out, and they replaced Black with no one. It's just going to be a standard one-on-one match, and it is going to be a last man standing match for the NXT title between Ciampa and Gargano. If their first match was great, if their second match blew their first match out of the water, we could be in for one of the greatest matches of the decade, people. So keep your eye on this match, and I'm going to be in the crowd live. I cannot wait to see this match. But overall, aside from Raw, it was a decent week of wrestling. The news, rumors, and reports. My first report comes from Mr. Slice Wrestling. Shout out to him. Go follow him on Twitter at Slice Wrestling. Report, and I quote, "The recent nostalgic tweets by Matt Hardy have increased speculation of an impending retirement. While no final decision has been made by Matt has been working with minor nagging injuries as of late and will receive physical therapy treatments." I don't know if this is going to be the last ride for Matt Hardy, but if these nagging injuries will not suppress, because I have been reading up that his lower back and pelvis have been fusing. He's been plastering that all over social media. If this is indeed the last ride for Matt Hardy, I can see his last match probably taking place either next week or at SummerSlam if they do a rematch for the Raw Tag Team titles at SummerSlam. If this is indeed the last ride for Matt Hardy, I do want to say to Matt Hardy, he is an inspiration to me. He was actually one of my favorite superstars growing up. I actually remember when the Hardy Boys were both singles champions, when Matt was ECW champion and Jeff was WWE champion. I remember going to a Smackdown live event back in 2008 and seeing them as champions face off against Edge and the Big Show. If this is indeed the last ride for Matt Hardy, he is probably one of the greatest superstars of our generation not to win a world title. And I can only wish him luck if he is to retire. I wish him luck in the post-wrestling years of his life. My next report comes from Mike Johnson of PW Insider. Now, according to Johnson of PW Insider, Dean Ambrose, and I know I've said a lot of Dean Ambrose reports as of lately, but he is expected to return to WWE within the next month, although it is unclear when he will be back. Now, originally, I thought SummerSlam, but I'm thinking that's a little too obvious. So, if I was to call a date, maybe the night after SummerSlam, and I don't think that Dean Ambrose is going to be helping Seth Rollins at all. I think he's going to be coming back and he is going to go against Seth Rollins. I think that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, that is going to be a program going into Hell in a Cell. Because the news that I reported either last week or a few weeks ago, I can't really remember, Dolph Ziggler is going into a program with Drew McIntyre for the IC title at Hell in a Cell. And Rollins, he's not really going to have anything to do. Dean Ambrose comes back, starts the feud with Rollins. So now Rollins is going to have something to do. So I think that Dean Ambrose is going to be coming back as a heel this month, sooner rather than later. So keep an eye out for the Lunatic Fringe. I said that I got some news on Randy Orton, and I do. Apparently, the AT&T Center may have leaked another match. Supposedly, right now, you got Samoa Joe and AJ Styles for the WWE title at Hell in a Cell. I reported that a few weeks ago. You got Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns at Hell in a Cell. According to AT&T Center Twitter, Randy Orton will face Jeff Hardy at Hell in a Cell in September. So they inadvertently leaked another match towards Hell in a Cell. So that's 3 matches already. And then on top of that, I had the report with Ziggler and McIntyre. Hell in a Cell is not looking that bad, if I do say so myself. Hell in a Cell could end up being like Money in the Bank, where it's automatically a good show. Or not automatically, it is a good show, but, you know, obviously you're going to have your downs here and there. But I like this. I can't wait to see what they do. And they did the right thing by not including Randy Orton. And Nakamura can be finished with Jeff Hardy, and Nakamura can move on. So they did a good job there. My final report comes from Bleacher Report, and they sent out a notification that Colt Cabana filed a lawsuit against his former lifelong friend CM Punk for unpaid legal bills. We're going to see how that plays out. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. I would like to thank each and every one of you who tuned into this video. Do not forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at TheDJStorms. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Lightning Flash Update next week. The rundown for TakeOver Brooklyn 4 next week, as well as the rundown for SummerSlam. Go join the Wrestling Express group on Facebook. The group, not the fan page. Follow them on Twitter at WExpressNation. I'm DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update, and you have a great weekend.